presentation is Poland by Amanda Kaiser, Tali Kramer, and Caroline D. Padua. The location of Poland is in Central Europe. It is bordered by the Baltic Sea, Germany to the west, Czech Republic and Slovakia to the south, and Ukraine, Belarus, and Lithuania to the east. Poland covers 120,696 square kilometers of land and over 312,000 square kilometers of water. The main language is Polish, but also the deaf communities use Polish Sign Language belonging to the German family of sign languages. The history of the Polish language. Polish is a Slavic language spoken primarily in Poland and is the native language of the Poles. It belongs to the Lekitic group of West Slavic languages. Polish language reflected the intellectual and material culture spoken in spoken words and later in literature. Early Polish vocabulary contained much earlier cultural information than do the written records. Although Polish was the national language of Poland, the influence of the Roman Catholic Church introduced Poland to Latin, the lingua franca of Western European culture. During this evolution, Polish became a language of elegance and civility in East Central Europe as Poland acquired a civilizing role between the Baltic and Black Seas, and Polish was used as the language of diplomacy. By the end of the 15th century, national and regional parliaments became catalysts of social and cultural life in Poland, a role played in the rest of Europe by the royal court and the town. The first digest of Polish law was printed in Krakow in 1488. Define the culture of the language and the rating between high and low. Poland is considered a low-context culture. Polish guides and instructions are clear and straight to the point. The Poles like to talk about the facts. Polish is spoken by over 38.5 million people as the first language in Poland. It is also spoken as a second language in western parts of Belarus, Lithuania, and Ukraine, as well as the northern parts of the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Because of the emigration from Poland during different time periods, most notably after World War II, millions of Polish speakers can be found in countries such as Australia, Brazil, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the United States. There are about 40 million Polish language speakers around the world. Regional differences of the language. Great Polish is spoken in the West. Lesser Polish is spoken in the South and Southeast and shares some features with the Kashubian language. Mazovian is spoken through central and eastern parts of the country. Silesian is spoken in the Southwest. Goralski dialect is spoken in the mountainous areas bordering the Czech Republic and Slovakia. The Warsaw dialect is still spoken by some of the population of Praga on the eastern bank of the Vistula. Kashubian is spoken in an elongated band of territory in the Pomorze region west of Gdansk on the Baltic Sea, now usually considered a separate language. Northern Kresy is spoken on the border between Lithuania and Belarus, and Southern Kresy is spoken in isolated pockets in the Ukraine. Related cultural norms with language and communication. Generally speaking, Poles judge others by their personal qualities. They therefore like to spend time getting to know people as individuals. Honesty is highly valued in Poland since trust is the cornerstone of business relationships. Building personal relationships is essential for successful business dealings. Poles are known for being direct communicators. For example, they say what they're thinking. However, they are also very sensitive to others' feelings. While direct communication is valued in Poland, there is also an emphasis on finessing what is said in order to deliver information in a diplomatic way. The level of the relationship mostly determines how direct someone can be. For newly established and more formal relationships, a great deal of emphasis is placed on diplomacy. In the business meeting, the most senior Pole generally opens the meeting and sets the groundwork for what is to be discussed. The Polish alphabet, Alphabet Polski, consists of 32 letters, 23 consonants, and 9 vowels. Unlike other Slavic languages, the Polish language uses Latin script with additional diacritics for the special Polish phonemes. A good rule to remember is that with most Polish words, the stress lies on the second last syllable. Are you able to say hello, dzień dobry, goodbye, do widzenia, please, proci, nice to meet you, milo misi, thank you, dzi, thank you very much, serdecznie, do you speak, zaj mały pan, po angielsku. Other common phrases in Polish: yes is tak, no is nie, you're welcome, nie ma co, excuse me, przepraszam, so long, na racji, good morning, dzień dobry, good afternoon, dzień dobry, good evening, dobry wieczór, good night, dobranoc. Verbal and nonverbal do's and taboos. Being on time is very important for the Polish people. Arriving late is considered bad manners and poor etiquette. To address Poles properly, you need to use pan for men and pani for women together with their surname. It is not customary to call people by their first name until they are good at friends. Greetings can be done by shaking everyone's hand individually while looking at their face and smiling. When it comes to business customs, Poland is not that different from other European countries. Make sure to firmly shake hands with everyone separately upon arriving and leaving. While greeting, eye contact is really appreciated. Poles value respect, honesty, and trust when doing business, and therefore it is recommendable to build good relationships. At the beginning, you should be diplomatic. Only when the relationship has been established will Poles become more open. When it comes to giving presents to the Polish people, there are some small things that you should know. In general, Poles get embarrassed when given an overly expensive gift. When giving flowers, it is important to not give yellow chrysanthemums. These are the flowers only used for funerals and won't be received well. When it comes to flowers, also try to avoid red or white, and especially lilies and carnations. Value dimensions. The power distance in Poland, it is considered a hierarchical society. Centralization is popular, and subordinates expect to be told what to do. Poland is considered more of an individualist society than a collectivist society. Masculinity, it is also considered more masculine than feminine. People live in order to work. Managers are expected to be decisive and assertive, and the emphasis is on equity, competition, and performance. Conflicts are resolved by fighting them out. Uncertainty avoidance, there's a very high preference for avoiding uncertainty. Poland maintains rigid codes of beliefs and behavior and are intolerant of orthodox ideas. There's an emotional need for rules. With a long-term orientation of 38, it shows a great respect for traditions, a relatively small propensity to save for the future, and a focus on achieving quick results. Indulgence, also with a low score of 29, Polish culture is one of restraint. The Polish do not put much emphasis on leisure time and control the gratification of their desires. Assumptions and perspectives of the people of Poland have towards the U.S. Poland is the most pro-American country in the world, but as they progress further, they are concentrating more on Europe and less on the United States. People simply talk less about America. In a quote, "Now all of the weekly papers are pro-European, and the focus of our attention has shifted from Washington to Brussels and Berlin. You look at TV news now, and it is all about Europe." What happened, Mr. Smoller said, was that Poland's entry into the European Union in 2004 and the subsequent ability of Poles to travel freely throughout the continent for the first time have made the United States less attractive, both as a romantic ideal and as a place where Poles dream of living. There's an interesting comparison between the fate of Poland and the fate of the USA. Just when Poland lost its independence, America became a free country. For Poles, the value of freedom is as precious as it is for the Americans. Both Poles and Americans share a common devotion to the cause of liberty, freedom, and democracy. Level of difficulty for a person who speaks only English to travel or work in Poland. It would be fairly easy, for many of the Polish people have English foundations and know the basics. The Polish lifestyle and culture is close to that of other European nations, which makes it easy to build relationships and friends. Younger Poles frequently know other languages, most often English, and are informed about world events. Although lodging is small and shopping is sparse, but the overall standard of living is quite high. Though it is not difficult to find an English speaker to help you navigate when you're traveling outside major cities or dealing with older Poles, it will be invaluable to know some Polish. Other important aspects of the language. As the communist regime sought to suppress some aspects of Polish culture and taught Russian as a compulsory subject in schools, the power of Polish was increased as a symbol of hope for freedom, and the over 40 million Polish speakers in the world today can be proud of their language, which has survived with its integrity intact against the odds. As Napoleon's expansionist ambitions and the power of the French state in the 18th and 19th century Europe grew, French words became part of the Polish vocabulary.